There are 12 pieces of fruit in a bowl and 9 of them are oranges. What percentage of the pieces of fruit in the bowl are oranges? So in this one here, we're actually being asked what the percentage is. So we're trying to find the percent that 9 is of 12. So go ahead and take a second, pause the video, and try and work this out on your own. Once you're ready, go ahead and hit the play button and I'll walk through how to do it. So hopefully that went all right. I'll go ahead and show you two different ways to do this problem here. The first one I'll go ahead and do in red here. My first way of working through this, I always like to find a diagram that I can draw to show me how to find the percentage here. My diagram of choice would be the table. So for this one here, we know that there are 12 total fruit in the bowl. So we know that 12 is going to be 100% of the fruit in the bowl. Eventually what we're trying to find here is if 9 of the fruit are oranges, then what percent are oranges? So we can't find a number that we can get to directly from 12 to 9. So we have to figure out this number that goes in between here. And the number that we should choose that go in here should be a common factor of 12 and 9. So the common factor that I'm going to choose between 12 and 9 is 3. And there are obviously multiple ways that you could go about getting here, but I'll go ahead and choose 3 and you'll see why that works best in just a second here. So after we find the common factor, we find how we get from these numbers from 12 all the way to 9. To get from 12 to 3, we know that we have to divide by 4. Then to get from 3 to 9, we have to multiply by 3. So our third step after we find the common factor is what is the path to get to our final number? Because once we find this path where we're dividing by 4 and then multiplying by 3, we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side here. We're first going to be dividing by 4. 100 divided by 4 we know is 25. Then we're doing the same thing that we did on this side, so we're multiplying it by 3. 25 times 3 gives us 75, which tells us that 9 oranges is 75% of the total number of fruit. Now the second way of doing this, if we're not using a table here, another way of doing it is with fractions. Now we got to remember that fractions always are talking about part over the whole. So in this case here, we know the whole is going to be 12 fruit. The part then is going to be the number of oranges that we're looking at. So just like the first way that we did this, there's going to be an in-between step here because we know we can't get directly from 12 to 100. And the reason we're trying to get from 12 to 100 is because we're trying to find the percent. Percent means per 100. So if we find this number right here, that's going to give us our answer. So I guess two different ways that we can do this one here. We could either simplify this fraction or we can actually just find a common factor between 12 and 100. Very similar to what we're doing here, we're just doing it a little bit differently. So if I was going to simplify this here, I know that 3 goes into both 9 and 12, so I'm going to divide them both by 3, which simplifies our fraction to 3/4. Now, two things here. First of all, we should know that 3/4 just means 75%. But just in case we don't have a nice, easy fraction like this, we need to know what to do from here. Now we know how we get from 4 to 100 is that we're multiplying by 25. So if we multiply by 25 here, then that will give us our answer. So just like in our table, we're finding our path here of how we're getting to our answer. In this case here, we're dividing it by 3 because we're simplifying it, then we're multiplying it by 25. We do 9 divided by 3, which gives us 3, then we multiply it by 25, which gives us 75. And now we know this is our answer because we're asked for the percent, and this is 75% or per 100. So that gives us our answer of 75%.